Hello, everybody. It is Jessie Lee. You can call me Boss Lee if you'd like to, or the People's Mentor. Today, I actually want to talk a little bit about some authenticity stuff that I think is very beneficial for us as business owners. Also, really remaining just true to yourself in the middle of when it comes to chaotic times, right? So maybe you're realizing some chaos in your business. Maybe you're feeling like, wow, it's real. I'm noticing that there's a lot of people jumping around, or there's a lot of people who are saying negative things about my business or my company or my profession. And before I even get into that, I just want to say the only thing that can actually stop you in business is you. And you will start to crumble if your pillars of belief crumble. So if you are deciding that you are no longer going to be successful, or your company is no longer going to be successful, or your team is no longer going to be successful, or the profession is no longer going to be successful, the only one that can make that true is actually you. And this is why you'll see examples of people jumping all over, multiple companies, oh my gosh, grass is greener, and those people don't succeed, and the companies keep going. So I just want to kind of give some perspective around why I'm doing this training now. I think it's super timely in the business professional world right now. And so that's kind of why I'm chatting. So look, I get it. As business owners, we do what? We strive to be successful. We strive to make a name for ourselves. We strive to navigate our ways through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. We strive to make it to make it big, to hit top ranks, to make millions of dollars, to do all of these things. And that's great. And it's fun. And being the number one network marketer in the world, it's cool. There's stages to success that I just want you to have an awareness around. And the most important part of success, as weird as this may sound to some of you, is how true can you stay to yourself? Because I have felt that more than ever, there is a pressure to conform to societal norms. There is a pressure to cater to the opinions of others. It is leading people, great leaders, new people in business, everything, into a stage of, quite frankly, frustration, doubt, disbelief in themselves, disbelief in their companies, and then ultimately it hinders our success. And so maybe you're watching this and you are experiencing that. And I just want to tell you, I would argue that in no times, at least in my life, so I can only speak for my life, has it been more important than ever to stay true to yourself. And quite frankly, if you want to build a big business, something that has allowed me to have such big businesses around the world is that I've done things a little differently. You probably knew my name before you ever watched this recording because you were shocked the first time you saw me. Maybe it was because you thought I was super loud on the internet. Or maybe it was because I had colored hair for some of you who have been around for a long time. Or maybe it's because I was diagnosed, can I change my language? I was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic colon cancer. And so that popped up on your feed. Maybe it's because I was the network marketer that showed people how to make millions of dollars online. Maybe it's because you've seen me step more into an entrepreneurial role and not just the network marketing role. I don't know why you found me or how you found me. Maybe you're part of my coaching program already and Piotr hasn't even mentioned it yet. Like, who knows? I just want you to know that the reason you know my name, whether you are watching this and you like me or whether you are watching this and you don't like me, is because I have been a truly authentic version of myself. And that's not to say I'm perfect, and that's not to say that everything I do is always right. It's just to say that I have not wavered in who I am. And because of that, I have become a beacon for a lot of ways, for a lot of people that go, that's what I need to do. That's what I have to do. I have to be me. And so that's what I want to talk about. All right. So first of all, know your values. A lot of people are on here and you're like, oh my God, like, I don't even know what I care about. I don't even know what I stand for. I don't even know what I want to do. Okay, look, if you're going to remain authentic to yourself, you have to first of all know what you stand for. Okay, stand for nothing, fall for everything. So spend time reflecting on your values. Spend time saying, okay, what's important to me? Spend time finding out what those values are that represent you, represent your beliefs, and then are really your guiding force through life. Because if somebody is going to tell you, you have to think a certain way, you have to behave a certain way, you have to do this, you have to build a business like this, you got to look like this, walk like this, talk like this, be like this, you're going to start falling in line. This is just what happens. But when you know, I don't believe that. Whoa, that's not my truth. Hold on a minute. I disagree. And you know who you are. It makes this conversation a lot easier. See, I know what I'm aligned with. I know the people I'm aligned with. I don't get so hot and bothered when people say, oh my God, did you see what? Jessie Lee knows what Jessie Lee said. Jessie Lee knows, I'm talking in third person, good Lord. Jessie Lee knows what Jessie Lee made a TikTok about. Jessie Lee knows what Jessie Lee's intentions are. Okay? And so that makes your life a lot easier. It ensures you're living a life that is coherent with who you are. It will help you attract business partners as well, because nobody wants to join a flip-flopping, person says this and acts like this, says that, does that. It's just not attractive when it comes to business, and you really can't build a business by doing that. Okay? The next step to this is you got to cultivate self-awareness. Okay? So to stay true to yourself in the middle of chaos, whatever chaos is for you, it's important to have a very clear understanding of your thoughts. What are your thoughts? What are you feeling? What are the actions you're taking? I don't get shocked when I win at things. I don't get surprised when I make big money. Nothing really shocks me because I have self-awareness. Now, there's things that I go, whoa! And then I have to, and then I go, oh my God. That was my fault. So even stuff like, bring it back to cancer. The cancer, you could be like, what? Is this the way you take it? You're saying it's your fault you have cancer, Jessie Lee? Listen, technically, yeah, okay? Did I live in a really high stress, crazy environment in my childhood? Yeah, not good. Probably expressed some genes. But think about other things. Was I always super clean at eating? No. Was I always good at saying no to things that I wanted to say no to? No. Have I always been super into non-toxic living? No. Have I always cared about the air I breathe, the water I drink, the water on my skin, the sun on me, no. So let's have a self-awareness that the health awareness, look, if I helped make myself sick, then I can help myself get healthy again. Can you have the same self-awareness around your business? Because what I see is this, it's like a pandemic of people, I don't know what other word to use, pandemic, epidemic, whatever, of people in business that all they like to do is blame people. You can't build a business if it's everybody's fault except for yours. Well, nobody's joining a team because the company changed something. Nobody's buying the product because the price is too high. What? No, you're the problem. The problem is you. What is your self-awareness? How many calls do you get on? Just ask yourself. How much personal development have you done? Just ask yourself. Jim Rohn was my first, whatever. I guess he wasn't alive when I found him, but I want to be like, he was one of my first mentors. Like, we all love Jim Rohn. You got to spend more time working on yourself, he said, than working on any business you ever have. And a lot of people don't like when people like me say that. They go, it's these personal development people. These personal development people have their lives together. Have you noticed that? The people that talk badly about personal development and wasting your time reading these books and wasting your time going to these events and wasting your time on these coaches, I wouldn't be wasting my time looking at their life. It's probably miserable. It's probably full of gossip and garbage and negativity and not a lot of success. Why would I copy those people? You have to spend a lot of time personally developing yourself if you ever want to develop a business, and you have to cultivate that self-awareness. So here's some things you can do to cultivate self-awareness if that kind of sounds a little bit hocus pocus to you, okay? Ask yourself questions regularly. Like, do you meditate? All right, here we go. Back to the cancer again. One of the first questions a doctor asked me here in Germany. I'm in Germany, by the way, so hello from next door. A doctor asked me here in Germany, he says, well, do you meditate? And I went, well, yeah, but I never did until I got diagnosed with cancer. He said, yeah, see, that's a problem. He's like, you got to meditate. You got to stop living in the past. And a lot of us, the reason why our lives continue to look the exact same is because we keep reminding ourselves of the past over and over and over again, repeating it over and over and over again, and expecting our lives to look different. You see, you can't create a new life if everything in your mind is repeating the same exact things repeatedly. So meditate regularly. Do you journal? Of course, I have a journal with me all the time. And if I don't have a journal with me, it goes in my phone. I'm always getting this stuff out of my head so it doesn't have to live inside me, right? So when you have this self-awareness, you start to observe yourself without judgment. You understand your emotional triggers. You understand and you make more conscious choices instead of automatic responses. If I look in my past and I think about when I was in my entrepreneurial journey at the beginning of everything, man, if anybody even said something to me that seemed whatever, all I wanted to do was fight you. right? All I wanted to do was prove to you that I'm right and you're wrong. It was like my life mission, it felt like, when I look back on it. Like, why did I care so much about what these people said? Why did I worry so much about, oh, this person doesn't like the product, doesn't like the business model, doesn't like this, doesn't like that? Like, what they're worried about is none of your business. And I had to learn and grow through that, because I would go straight into these overly emotional responses. And I saw it happen again when people didn't like my medical choices, right? I got emotional about it. And now I see people on the other side emotional and yelling at me for my own decisions, right? So it's interesting. What is your self-awareness? What do you believe, and how can you stick by that? The next thing, if you want to be successful at all of this, is you have to create boundaries. Okay? You've got to create boundaries, because this is critical in staying true to you. Okay? So boundaries, the way I say this is just basically, boundaries are limits that define what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with. That's all a boundary is. I think we overcomplicate this, right? It's, I'm comfortable with this. No, I'm not comfortable with that. Okay, it's fine with me if you say that. It's not fine with me if you say that. Okay? Boundaries are the only way that you are going to be able to protect your time, that you are going to be able to protect your energy, that you are going to be able to protect your mental health, that you're going to be able to protect your business, and that you're going to be able to protect being pulled into a bunch of different directions by external demands. Period. For me, I was saying yes to everything. I was not setting boundaries around it. So I was the yes man who would run myself ragged, 18, 20-hour days nonstop, live videos. Oh my gosh. Like, how many times I used to go live a day? Like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day. It was getting crazy, right? The answer was always yes. The answer was always more. But then it was like I had no boundaries around my business. So I never actually set up a schedule and structure that made my business flow and run properly, which then bled into obvious things like it would affect relationships. It would affect friendships. And I needed to learn how to say no. But it's the same thing as, do you have people in your life that when you spend time with them, you see yourself being pulled out of authenticity? And can you learn how to say no to that? Because that's hard, right? It's hard to say no to the business partner who maybe is more successful than you in some ways, but maybe not happiness, maybe not joy, maybe their life doesn't look anything like you want your life to look like. And you're still saying yes to it, but why? Right? Are you being authentic to you? You need to start asking yourselves these questions in everything, because otherwise you're going to have more chaos. When somebody's excited about something, let's say somebody's pitching you on a new, exciting, shiny business. It might be right for somebody else, but you need to ask yourself, is it actually right for me, or am I getting overly excited because other people's energy is overly excited? I find that this is not a question that people actually ask and answer. I've always been a big believer in find something and stick with it unless it is like a firing, burning ship that is coming down and you're holding on for dear life when you can see every single sign that everything is not good, right? Paying attention to the entire picture instead of like a flame here or a flame there. Because look, business, if you're going to be a big business builder someday or today, really what we are, we should just be called firefighters. All we do as big leaders is we put out fires. There's a fire about your personal life. There's a fire about your business life. There's a fire about a leader in your business. There's a fire about the product. There's a fire about some kind of payment, something that happened. There's always, always, always fires. A shipping problem. It's all we do. We fight fires. Anyone else feel like a firefighter? I feel like I'm a gosh darn firefighter. But also shout out to the real firefighters because you save lives. All right, so clear boundaries will give you that sense of ownership over your life and your choices. And I think that if you want to be a successful business owner, it really is that ownership conversation. It's, do I feel like I run my life and my business, or do I feel like my life and my business are running me? That's a good question to ask yourself, okay? All right, the next, look, chaos. You got to stay positive. You want to be all right through all of this, you got to be positive. In the midst of chaos, it can be, easy is not even the right word. It's easier than easy. It's the most simple thing ever to happen. It's so easy to get bogged down by negativity and doubt in the middle of chaos. But if you are the positive one and you keep a clear mind and you are the one who stays focused and you are true to yourself and you set those boundaries and you choose to adopt a growth mindset when a bunch of other people are way too busy being negative around you, and you set the boundary and you say, you don't talk to me about that. I know what I'm doing with my life. My business doesn't look like my business, like I want my business to look, and I take full responsibility for it, but I am positive and I'm looking forward and I'm excited for what's in the future. And you cannot get me down about this. That's solution oriented. If you're spending time around people who are focused on the negativity, and if you're spending time around people who are constantly doubting all the things that you are excited about and that you are doing, you gotta stop. Because look, spend time with solution-oriented people. Spend time and surround yourself with positive people, uplifting people, encouraging people, excited people, happy people. If you're spending time with somebody that you greet them and they've got the biggest frown on, okay, like, I can't get Botox anymore. Hold on a second. That caused detriment. I have to re-massage that. I can't make facial expressions like this anymore, okay? You guys, like, I really just watched my 11s go into the stratosphere. So hold on a second. Let me just massage that facial expression I made for you out really quickly, okay? Like, I really feel like, wow. Hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, so smiley people, no frowny people, and not delusional people, but you know who these people are. They're the people who every time you approach them, there's a problem. Every time you show them a solution, there's no solution. Every time you're showing them the future that you're excited about, no. You're just being delusional. No, let me tell you my truth. You got to set boundaries around that. So who are the positive people that uplift you, encourage you, etc.? And I'll just tell you, because Piotr told me to say this, if you're not part of the Bossly Accelerator program, this is a great place to find people like this. People that pay for the Bossly Accelerator program, they are not negative. They are not toxic. They are not thinking about their businesses falling apart. They are future focused. They invested money so they can become better. Some of them invest money specifically for skill sets. Some of them invested money to specifically become better leaders. The chats are crazy and uplifting. I can log into the Facebook group with 1,100, 1,200, whatever it is, people, and they're all happy. They're all excited. They've created a community of high energy. And if you look at any of the charts of where you will find success just emanating from, it's an energetic thing. You can't create from grief, sadness, shame, anger. These are low vibrations, right? High vibrations, joy, excitement, happiness, like all this good stuff. This is where you create the business from. So when I see somebody or I speak to somebody or I'm trying to lead somebody who is down here in the mud, I have a hard time. I have a really hard time, because if I can't move you out of this energetic space where you are grateful for nothing, because you can't be grateful, which is very high vibration, and angry at the same time, mad at the world at the same time. These don't function. I have a hard time coaching these people because they're in this absolutely toxic wasteland of energy. It's a real thing. You can check it out. So you have to stay positive. You have to. The next is you have to embrace change. And change can be really hard. Okay, I get it. We're business owners and you're constantly faced with change. So you might think to yourself, what is she talking about? Like, what do I have to embrace change about? I don't know. Look, stay true to yourself. You have the ability. There's nothing wrong with changing your mind. There is nothing wrong with changing your opinion. There is nothing wrong with saying this is no longer for me. There is nothing wrong with saying this doesn't bring me joy. There is nothing wrong with this. Embrace the change instead of resisting it all the time, right? Change offers new opportunities for growth. So what can you bring into your business that's new? What can you implement? What systems, what tactics, what trainings, whatever can you bring in that's new? What are the new things you can discover? What are the new technologies you can bring in, like AI? Are you keeping an open mind? Are you experimenting with anything new? Are you willing to adapt to new situations, new technology, new innovation, or are you just stuck in your own ways? A lot of people will say crazy things like, oh, well, I like to keep one foot in the old school and one foot in the new school. Well, okay, but then get left behind. Like, don't get left behind. Be the person who thrives and flies because you were willing to learn, adapt, and grow. Be flexible, okay? You are more likely to stay true to yourself and achieve your goals if you are able to adapt, you have strong emotional intelligence, and you're able to be flexible. Because business is always ebbing and flowing. There are always things changing. Imagine being the person right now in 2023 trying to build your business with what? a pager, a BlackBerry, a swivel phone. You remember those things? I don't know if they ever made it to Poland. You know what I'm talking about? People were crazy in America over those. Okay? You have to grow. It's just how business works. And so all I'm trying to say to you is, look, if you stay true to yourself in the middle of chaos and you continue to focus on all of these things in regards to your personal and your professional goals, and you know your values, and you cultivate self-awareness, and you create boundaries, and you stay positive, and you embrace change, you will stay centered, and you will stay aligned, and you will explode, because the most successful people are those who stay truly authentic to themselves. The most happiest, most successful, most joy-filled, most magnetic people are the people who are true to themselves, even in turbulent times. So if you're in a turbulent time, it's okay. Don't get off the roller coaster. Focus on what's right for you. Focus on what you know is the path you need to be on. And I'm telling you, you're going to come out on top. And if you're new to me, and this is the first time you've seen me, hello. My name is Jessie Lee Ward. You can call me Boss Lee. I think the sun is officially down, but hopefully you've been able to see me well enough this entire time. Peter would like to invite all of you to the Boss Lee Accelerator program. I believe he has a link for you, so I'm excited to see all of you inside. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. I'm Boss Lee everywhere. So have a great rest of your day. Thank you for having me, Elite Network and Piotr, and I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing rest of your day.